Scheduling your routes can make or break the profit in your business. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how we built a $1.6 million, 3-location, 23 team member business based on this exact scheduling structure. Let's dive into it. Today we're talking about scheduling. Now, I get a lot of questions also as far as GM training goes. This is exactly how Military Lawn Cuts schedules its jobs. And I'll give you the exact blueprint here. To start, what we do is we figure out our boundary lines. Generally, this is about a 7-mile radius. In here, what we do is we cut up the quadrants into 4 sections. We go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, this is going to be your territory map, and it is based on their mow day. So this is Monday's mow route, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now this again is for the mowing services, and those don't flex or fluctuate most of the time. What this allows us to do is give the customer, when we're onboarding them, a definitive date on when we will be there. Like, we will be there this week on Thursday to get you taken care of. So it gives us authority to be able to give that data to the customer. The next thing we're going to talk about here is how do you fit this in for your Monday through Friday route, right? So if you're mowing Monday through Thursday, so what do you do on Fridays? Where do you put the landscape jobs? How do you incorporate the sprays? That's all what we're going to talk about. Now, in this scenario, just so everybody knows, we're talking about a business that is doing 0 to 500K in annual revenue. Once the location hits 500,000, this is not the model of scheduling that we use. We use a different variant. But if you are a new general manager at Military Lawn Cuts, or you are growing your business and not part of Military Lawn Cuts, if you're doing anywhere from 0 to 500,000, this is going to be directly for you. Now, there's a few variations that I want to decipher before we get into it. Just so everybody knows, one mow is about 30 minutes. And on budgeted time, that's about 0.5 BH. So just so you guys know, we need to know how much one mow is. It's roughly 30 minutes, 0.5 budget hours, because we're going to need that when we're scheduling our crews. And in this scenario, we're going to have 2 teams. Or we'll say 2 team members. For our team members, because we go off of budget hours, one team member should be able to do at least 6 budgeted hours per day. In an 8-hour day, if 6 of his hours is spent mowing lawn, weed eating, edging, blowing, and the other 2 hours of his day is spent loading or unloading or driving or fueling up or taking a break, that's a 75% efficiency score. That's pretty good. So that is what we expect per team member. So if we have 2 team members, one man should be able to do 6 budgeted hours. That is what is required in our organization. So if we have 2 team members, let me ask you guys, how many budget hours should 2 team members do total? Put in the comments below. If you guessed 12, you are correct. So in this scenario, we're going to have the budgeted hour capacity of 12 budgeted hours for our entire crew. Let's go, we'll say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. So this is our schedule. Now we know that we have 2 team members here. Let's say, for example, we're going to say we have 10 mows on Monday, 16 mows on Tuesday, 4 mows on Wednesday, 2 mows on Thursday, and then no mows on Friday. This is our example of what this would look like. We have 3 different variations of services. So we have our mows, we have our landscapes, and we have our sprays, which is weed control. As far as the scheduling goes for the customer, for these 3 services, I need to break this down to make this very clear. We give the mows a hard day of the week, and then we say plus or minus a day for weather. If for whatever reason we can't make it out to that customer's property, we will always text and email them about the inclement weather. But generally speaking, if they're supposed to be cut on Thursday, they're going to be cut on Thursday, depending on the season that we're in. If we're spring and fall, we're bi-weekly. If we're during the summer months when we're fertilizing, then we're weekly. That would be their normal mow day. For mows, exact day. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, now landscapes. So this is your one-time property cleanups or your 6-week reoccurring bush and bed services. So for flower beds, we do bush trimming, de-weeding, and installing of mulch. Okay, you're gonna go out and quote, you're gonna book one-time property cleanups. Some of them will be 4 budget hours, 6 budget hours, right? These are the more larger budget hour jobs. These are your landscape jobs. Now, the beauty of these jobs is they're able to be floated because when we text the customer, so again, anytime we communicate to the customer, we're always doing a 2-phase section. We always text and email to let them know about the scheduling. But what's cool about the landscape jobs is we don't give them an exact day. We just tell them which week. So what that looks like is on Friday or Saturday, the GM will scrub their route. They'll kind of prep for the next week and they'll try to figure out, all right, if I have 2 guys and I need to figure out 12 budgeted hours, 10 to 12 budgeted hours at least each day, can I fit these landscape jobs in based on the mows that are scheduled? Oftentimes the answer is yes. So what we would do is we would text and email these landscape jobs and say, hey, just so you know, you are on our schedule this upcoming week to get your landscape job complete. The beauty about that is you can float these jobs. If it rains out, you can pull them up when it's really wet and the yards are too wet to mow. You can pull up your landscape jobs and always trim bushes, install mulch, and pull weeds when it's wet. In fact, that's the best time to actually do those landscape jobs. Also, you have a crew member that calls off of work last minute and you're scrambling. No worries. Hey, we can always float the landscape jobs around. If we don't get it today on Tuesday, we can always move it to Wednesday or Thursday later on in the week. So these are very nice, gives you flexibility in your schedule. Now, let's talk about the sprays. So for the sprays, these are a little bit more complicated, slightly. For those, we don't give the customer, generally when we're onboarding them, an exact day. What we say is, hey, our manager, dispatcher, aka you, the general manager, is going to text and email you once we have you on our schedule. You will get a 24 to 48 hour notice to let you know exactly which day we're coming out to do the treatment. That gives the customer a heads up to unlock their gate, clean up the dog poop, prep their yard for us to show up and do the lawn service. If for whatever reason you can't get to it on that specific day, guess what? You have to text and email the customer, tell them about rescheduling, or we're going to put you back on the schedule. We'll send you a notification once we have a new date, 24 to 48 hours in advance. But most of the time, you can fit in your sprays within your week, and generally speaking, you want to try to avoid spraying the same day that they get mowed. On all of the labels, it says for best results and the best effectiveness is to actually treat at least one day before, one full day before, which would technically be 2 days, or one full day after, which would be the second day after the mow, for best results, because you want the chemical to uptake the root system, uptake the leaves, and actually start to be effective on the weed control before you come through and cut it. If possible, definitely be mindful of when your mows are, when you're in those neighborhoods to mow, and then ideally what you want to do is schedule your sprays when you're not out their same day mowing for best results. So now that we got that, so landscapes are basically floaters, and then sprays is a 24 to 48 hour notice. All right, so now that we have the parameters of what we look like, so we've got our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mow route. We've got 2 team members at 12 budget hours each day. We've got mows, exact day, landscapes are floaters, and then sprays, we need to give a 24 to 48 hour notice. Okay, let's jump into it. Let's take a look at what this would look like. In a normal day in our company, we will either schedule these all on Monday or all on Friday. And what I'm talking about is the landscapes and the sprays. Generally, if you're under 500,000, this is how we do it. We schedule all of the all of the landscapes and all of the sprays on one of those days. It's either gonna be on Monday or it's gonna be on Friday. In this situation, we're gonna call it on Monday. On Monday, we have 3 landscapes, and then we're just gonna say each one of these are, we'll say 6 budgeted hours each. A lot of work on Monday here. And then we're gonna say we have 20 sprays, all right? So we have 20 sprays all scheduled that will need to get done at some point this week.
Hey, real quick, my business partner and I built a private school community for people just like you, trying to build their home service-based business from the ground up. We managed to build a 7-figure lawn business from the ground up, and we're sharing all of the SOPs, documents, and templates and systems inside of our coaching program. You get access to us, so click the link in the description below. Let's scale this thing together.
All right, so let's take a look at how we actually schedule our jobs, okay? So if we know that we have 2 team members, the goal is to really get your route scheduled for 12 budgeted hours each day. Let me show you what this looks like. I'll put the budget hours down here. We've got 10 mows, That's 5 budget hours. We have 3 landscape jobs that are 6 budget hours each. That's 18 budgeted hours. And then we have 20 sprays, which is again, same as the mows, they're about 30 minutes. So that's 10 budget hours. So you could already see 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 2, that's 33. 33 budgeted hours is scheduled for mows and landscapes and weed control on Monday. But guess what? We can only do 12. So we're gonna have to move some of these jobs to later in the week so that way we don't overwork our crews and fall short for the customer. So on this day, we have 8 budgeted hours currently because 16 mows, 30 minutes each, that's 8 budget hours. 4 mows is 2 budget hours. And then 2 mows is 1 budget hour. And then we have no mows on Friday. So this is what we're working with right now. Now the goal is what we're gonna have to do. First off, we're gonna text our sprays, figure out exactly which day they're gonna go on, and tell them which day. Then we're going to move our landscape jobs and float them in here somewhere. So we know we for sure need 12 total budget hours here because we have nothing on the schedule. We need definitely some work on Thursday because there's literally only 2 mows. Same thing on Wednesday. We only have 4 mows. So a lot of this stuff's probably gonna go on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday because it looks like the Monday and Tuesday mow routes are a bit heavier than usual. This is what it would kind of look like. So we would look at our schedule and we would say, all right, so we need to start to move some of this stuff around. So right off the bat, I'm probably going to move 2 landscape jobs here. We'll say 2 landscape jobs, and then these are gonna be 6 budget hours each. So that gives us a total of 12 budgeted hours. Friday's done. We already got Friday set to schedule. We're just gonna take these 2 budgeted hours, these 2 landscape jobs, move them to Friday. So now we only have 1. Also, we're going to text and email them, sending them the generic notification that you are on our schedule this week. Guess what? If it rains, we're going to pull up those landscape jobs, especially if it's too wet. All right, so what else are we going to do here? So we need to start to fill up this Thursday route here as well. So we've got 1 budgeted hour on the schedule. So what I'm going to do is let's just move all of these sprays. Plus, it's our least amount of mow day. So the likelihood that 1 or 2 of these mows are in this spray batch is probably pretty low. Most of these sprays are not getting mowed that day. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move these 20 sprays over here. And that would give us 10 budgeted hours. So if we take the 10 budget hours from the sprays and add it to the 1 budget hour, that gives us a total of 11 budgeted hours. And guess what? We have 2 people equals 2 people. We gotta get to 12 budget hours. Well, we already got 11. It's pretty close. And it's okay if it's not exactly 12. 11 is still good. That means 5.5 for each person. So the 20 sprays are done. We got that done. Now, once we put them on the schedule, we're gonna go ahead and assign them to the correct applicator, and we're going to text and email those customers telling them that, hey, just so you know, because we're going to do this 24 to 48 hours in advance, and today is Monday, or Friday, whatever, Saturday, we're going to text them and say, hey, we're going to be out there on Thursday the 15th to make sure that we get those sprays in for you. So that's good. So we got 12 budget hours, 11 budget hours. All right, we need more work here. We only have 4 mows on our schedule for Wednesday. So what are we going to do? Well, let's take this 1 landscape job. Actually, we don't even need to do that, to be honest. Check this out. This is cool. So we could technically leave, because 10 mows is 5 budget hours, and then 6 plus 5 is 11. So we're already at 11 budget hours here. So we have 11 budget hours on the Monday with 10 mows and then 1 landscape job. Now, in a perfect world, if you have 2 trucks, you want each individual team member to go out in their own truck. Why? Because it's branding. If you have a truck wrap, people can see the trucks out. You're putting these assets to use. Plus, from an efficiency standpoint for your crews, instead of putting them both together, as long as they're fully trained, you should run them solo because they're gonna make more money and they're gonna be way more efficient running solo than they would with 2 people. That's why we always run them solo once they get through training and they have proven themselves not to get a lot of yellow slips. All right, so 11 hours, 8 budget hours. As you can see, there's a deficit here for Tuesday and Wednesday needs some assistance. Well, guess what? If you guys watched my previous video on the order of prioritization of tasks, maybe we need to send an upsell out, a monthly upsell. Maybe we need to schedule schedule some drive-bys. Maybe as a general manager, we need to get on the phone and call our pending estimates on these lighter days. Having a little bit of room of margin in your schedule is okay. That's a good thing. There's going to be somebody that calls off. There's going to be someone that comes in late. The truck's going to break down at some point. If all else fails, if it's in the spring rush, go hand out door hangers. Like, let's focus on sales and selling to try to fill our routes so that way we can get our team the 6 budget hours each day per person that we are promising them when they come and onboard with us. This is how we do our schedule. We're constantly shifting and floating things around. One of the things that I see most general managers fall into a trap of, and they spend an enormous amount of hours, days in advance, trying to tweak and trying to schedule and trying to make the most efficient route. Listen, in the spring rush, our office is signing up customers daily. You going in a week in advance to try to set the schedule is not going to work. You have to check it literally every evening, literally every morning, every single day during the weekdays. The only day you don't probably have to do it is maybe well, for sure Sunday, because we don't work on Sundays, but maybe Saturday, as long as you did all of what you were supposed to and got Monday's route all set up on Friday. Like, if you did that, then you don't have to touch it on Saturday. I see too many general managers, I see too many lawn care business owners that just spend hours and hours prepping the dispatch board, days and like almost a week in advance. It's like, guys, there's new jobs getting signed up daily. The fact that you're doing this 6 to 7 days, even 5 days in advance is like, it doesn't make sense. Ideally, you want to check this stuff 72 hours in advance. That gives you enough time to notify the sprays, enough time to see 2 to 3 days in advance. That's it. If you start going 4, 5, 6, 7 days in advance, you're just going to waste time on the dispatch board. I would rather you get on the phone, call pending estimates, send out an upsell, and focus on something that's actually going to make the company money, allow you to hit your goals faster, to actually hit 500,000, instead of getting caught up in this loop and being busy by focusing on the wrong stuff. The dispatch board is important. We do want to be efficient, but we don't want to spend tons of time on it days in advance trying to tweak this. Hopefully this helps you guys kind of give a blueprint, an overview of kind of how we schedule things. But you as a general manager, you're going to have to fluctuate, figure this out, and try to get 6 to 7 budget hours per person on the schedule. If they're newer, they're not going to be able to do 6 to 7 budget hours. Okay, you're probably looking at more like 4 if they're going through training. 4 budget hours is enough. Why? Their bodies aren't conditioned. They're not advanced. They're not efficient. They haven't done this 21 times and got the reps in to get good at it yet. They're moving a lot slower. Their bodies are going to hurt. Their legs are going to hurt. Their bodies aren't conditioned for this stuff for that first couple of weeks. And so we're okay with giving them only 4 budgeted hours while they're going through training. But once they get through the 2-week training period where they've been trained on mows and they get trained up on landscape jobs, then they should be able to do 6 budget hours every day. The really good ones will do 7 to 8 and not get any yellow slips. 0 yellow slips is the motto here, and that is our goal. We want to deliver exceptional quality services to all of our customers, and it starts with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to grow to 500,000. Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.